This is a fairly good LPT because it encourages you to look within for the answers, but I think this LPT is a bit oversimplifying the situation, and it doesn't completely tell the picture that I want to really show you guys. So I'm gonna use this LPT as an opportunity to provide you a little bit of information about how to actually navigate those situations. Okay, so why this LPT is a bit of an overgeneralization in my opinion is you're not always going to be happy with the new job. Also, there's nothing that's stopping you from being happy at your current job. Same with relationships. You could be more miserable after you end the relationship. Also, you could be happier staying in your relationship. Of course, the converse is also true, right? But when we listen to our gut, we make emotional choices rather than rational choices. So, what should we do instead? The thing to keep in mind is that life is, in general, everything happens because of cause and effect, right? So there's a reason for everything. So the favorite example that I give for this is okay, what do all lottery winners, right, with a bag of money, what do they all have in common? They all have in common the fact that they bought the ticket, right? But just because you bought the ticket doesn't necessarily mean that you win the lottery. Okay, so this is the easy introduction to the laws of cause and effect. But everything is a cause and effect. So what I mean by that is when you get the lottery, when you get the winning, this spawns off another chain reaction so that this becomes the cause for an unidentified effect later down the line, right? Sorry, I should have made this a dotted line, right? And then this also cascades into the next unidentified thing, right? That is how life generally works. That's the grand cause and effect of life. Why this is important for this particular discussion is okay, so uh, you have a job that you don't like right now, right? Okay, and you are considering leaving, which you will you are hoping, right? Leaving will enable you to do this. And we like to think that this is the end of the story, right? So this is the timeline, and then our timeline ends here. So by leaving, we come to a happy ending, so to speak, and then we're done with things. But in reality, what happens is leaving starts spawning its own cause and effect, right? So as you're dealing with the leaving and you are temporarily happy for the time being, the seeds that leaving has planted starts to have unexpected side effects. So when we try to address the feelings in the past, that we think that it'll resolve and then that'll be the end of it. But no, the resolution will lead to a new uh, result that you have to deal with again, right? So this kind of means that if you don't fix your root issue of being unhappy in life, no matter what you do, the happiness that you find is going to be temporary. Why? Because you always have to play catch up. Okay, so I left the job and now I'm happy. Okay, but turns out new jobs also have people, right? And you might not like a coworker. Boo, I don't like that. So maybe I go to a new department. Okay, and that gives me temporary happiness because why? I don't have to hang out with the person I don't like. But what happens? I don't like the work anymore. I liked the work in the previous position, but then I didn't like the guy. Okay, so now I try to do something about it, right? So this constant need to do something about your life will always have you playing catch up. So the thing that we could be doing instead with our knowledge of this is, okay, so I'm in a situation where I am unhappy, right? Do I need to do something to get to this? Or can I just directly shift from here to here without making any big changes in my life? Because why? The same situation, we like to think that our unhappiness is because of situations, right? So we think situations are responsible for this. But the thing is, if that were actually the case, then everybody in the same situation needs to share this feeling, right? So, for example, in America right now, um, the president is Trump, and then new policies coming up, and then new executive orders coming up. So we think it's a bad situation. Some people, sorry, I shouldn't have generalized. Some people think it's a bad situation. But if it is indeed a actually universally bad situation, then everybody needs to be having a bad time, right? But there are people who are having a good time precisely because of this situation, right? So this isn't meant to be like a political statement. But what I'm saying is, situations, of course, have an influence on how we feel when we are well rested, when we are full, when we have had delicious food, when we just had sex. Is it easier for us to be happy? Yes. When we are hungry, when we are tired, when we are overworked, when we don't have a lot of money, is it harder to be happy? Yes. But is it impossible? No, right? Because there are people who are happily tired. There are people who are happily hungry, right? So, what I'm saying is, instead of trying to change situations, which will again have a cascading effect of cause and effect, what if we could directly go into this shift without causing any more changes to the situation? And by this point, you might be asking, hey, so how the fuck do you do that? And that is precisely where the practice of Buddhism comes in, right? Or, working with a coach like me. And you know what? I don't, of course, I like to end on a Buddhist note, but it's not that I'm gonna just like you come in for a session with me or any other life coach and they're just going to tell you to bow 100 times every morning, right? It doesn't work like that. Cognitive tools to work around your thoughts, somatic activities to work around your feelings, these have value because it shows you that you have agency in the situation of life that you are in right now. And when it is accompanied with Buddhist practices, then you really complete the circuit because you can actually have the feeling, you can actually have the thoughts not impact you in the same way in the first place, right? And so that is my overall thoughts on how to make decisions and the grand cause and effect relationship of everything in life.